I just wanted one with my email in front of me. Okay.
Here's this one. I just let Doug in. But I don't have the YouTube page up yet. I'm logged in as Laura. I can log in as me and then help let people in.
Okay.
If you want to make me co-host.
Yep.
Sorry, I got halfway there and I'm like, I don't know.
Wait, are you in?
I have.
You're not in yet.
No.
Okay.
I'm-
Oh, there you are.
I'm.
I see you.
So Laura's in also? Is that-
No,
No,
That's
that's
me.
me.
Oh.
That's
I'll
that.
change it. I'll
Okay.
change it to your co-host now. You have the power.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just call us Jessica. Oh, well, you are yourself. So this is Emily and Pamela. Or just staff. How about staff?
Do you want to start that video and I'll make sure that.
Oh, I mean, I think it's gonna be, oh, there we go. Oh, I'm not in it though. I need to go that way.
Oh, nope, I'm gonna move it down.
You did it. Thanks.
How'd you do this?
This. It's
Can
a
you go
remote.
down more?
I can't. That's
Oh.
as far as I can go.
Maybe I should move down more.
No, I'll move down and we can just move down.
Okay. Oh, maybe. Let's see how many cords I can rip out of the wall. Is this our speaker for everybody too? Okay, so put that down. Let's try and get that light somewhere.
I'm gonna move it.
Oh,
I'm like, I'm hogging both of them. I had
I
two. And I'm
have-
like, wait, why do I have two?
I can drive everything.
I should just sit over here and just like move it. And then when you're trying to do.
I'll be
stuff-
like,
It's possessed.
what is it?
No, it's possessed.
That's funny. Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How is everybody?
Well, how are you?
Doing well, doing well. It's been a while.
It has been a while. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning, all, and thanks for your help last night.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation.
Good morning, Doug.
Good morning, and how are you doing, Dina?
Good, sir. Good.
Is there anybody that's not coming in?
As far as I know, he's the only one.
There's Nancy. Maybe I should abbreviate. Well, if they have their videos on, it's okay. Otherwise, all you see is committee member
Committee
when you don't
member,
have a video. And then it's hard to tell who's where. Thank you for
Good
typing.
morning, Nancy.
Morning. Can you hear me now?
We can.
Yes.
You're good, Nancy.
Good. Okay, thanks.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is, I didn't grab the packet. I grabbed my 75th from last night. Oops. She was paddling.
I'm gonna go clean my glasses while we're waiting.
Okay.
Sure.
Did you design the logos, Jessica?
Anne Marie did. Right. Mhm. I mean, I told her what to do, and she did it.
Sometimes that's enough.
We've worked together for a while now, so she usually knows what I like and what I'm going to like and what I won't like. Because sometimes she'll come back with some art, and I'm like,
Something that you're like, not it. Nope, not.
And then I'm always, because she's an artist, so I'm like, can we try to change?
Make this last this way.
We just need one more member and then we'll have a quorum. We did hear from Michael Robb, so he's not able to attend.
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
and here comes Thomas, so we should be good.
Okay, good.
So is Thomas, are you on?
I am, yes. Good morning.
All right, so we have a quorum now, Jessica.
We do. We can begin when you're ready.
All right, let's go ahead and call the meeting to order at 9:02. Let's see here. All right, so let's do a roll call. Let's see, Barry.
Here?
I think we have, I mean, it's only 4 of us, right?
Yes. Yeah, we'll still do a verbal roll call.
Okay, Barry,
Here?
Tisdale,
Present.
I'm
Wyman,
here.
Chrisman, and Rob. And I assume we don't have any audience participation this morning.
We do not.
Okay, so let's go ahead and can I have a motion to approve the 21 May minutes?
Move to approve the minutes.
I second.
All right. So we don't have anything that's been removed, do we? Is there anything that, number 5?
No, we can skip that.
Go ahead, okay. Unfinished business, the 75th. I was not at the last meeting, so can we go over what needs to be covered for that?
Thomas, do you want to give an update?
I'm sorry, guys. I had to just step away from my computer. Can you repeat that, Dino?
No, that's okay, Thomas. No worries. I obviously I was not at the last meeting, so I wanted to see if you could go over, the 75th, the celebration.
Yeah, absolutely. We walked through the presentation that I put together on the last call, and we talked about the idea. Everybody liked the idea, and I believe Doug presented it to the PTRC on last night. And how did that go, Doug?
And excuse me, that went extremely well, Mr. Chairman. I must tell you, the Parks, Trails, and Recreation Committee was very excited about what we're doing, very appreciative of the fact that we gave them such a comprehensive report. Kudos to staff for putting together a really good slide presentation that I was able to walk through with them. And also,
Thomas.
what's that now?
Thomas put those slides together. Thomas and
Thomas did. Well, by golly, Thomas, you did a crackerjack job. I got to tell you, they were very impressed with all of it, very pleased, and they were highly supportive and had a number of comments. Now, Jessica, did you perchance reduce that to some kind of written form available for digital distribution now, or do you want me to go through my notes?
It should be on your screen now.
Oh, look at that. There we are. Yes. Perfect.
So I broke it up between the feedback they gave for the time capsule and then the feedback they gave for the event.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, so very briefly, because you can read what's there on the screen for you, which I neglected to do myself, the time capsule feedback was to do things such as not only including the trail map, but they have some further information about the trail system, because that's something that really sets Cherry Hills apart as a unique city. One of the things they were worried about, because I mentioned that we were going to have the Villager newspaper in there with a special article about us, and they said, well, let's make sure we focus on history and not just current events. And I said, clearly that's what we're going to do. They did suggest that we have Placina's book, High on Country, in the time capsule as well. I think that's an excellent suggestion. There was one comment that I really liked, and that is make sure that we've got a children's activity going on during the actual time capsule dedication, so we kind of keep the kids entertained and out from under our feet. Also that we have a flash drive, whether it be a thumb drive or whatever digital medium is appropriate, with the student-produced videos that we have celebrating the beauty, history, legacy, and value of the Highline Canal Trail, which, as you know, are available on the website, on Channel 22, and also on my personal page, for the simple reason that I was the mayor who sponsored that competition. For the event itself, Commissioner Scott from PTRC does have various contacts and suggestions for food trucks. And I said, I don't know how far along planning we are. I know we have some names, but I know we have not made any contracts yet. So I asked her to please submit those names to Emily, and that Emily could then distribute them to all of us. She also suggested that it would be nice if the event even went past 7 p.m. There was some appetite for that, which was supported by other members of the PTRC. And she also indicated there is a CHV elementary school teacher who has a kids choir that she works with, and it would be nice to have them be a part of the music presentation at the Alan Hutto Commons. And I think nothing could be more appropriate because Alan Hutto was a student at Cherry Hills Elementary, involved in the arts when he passed away, and that's why we have the Commons. So she's going to reach out to that teacher and get information again back to Emily, because we figured Emily as the PTRC liaison and one of our liaison would be the best person to channel that information through. Commissioner Leviton, who, by the way, is a performing artist and a pianist, indicated, well, of course, I'm unavailable for that day. Otherwise, if you would have asked, I would have been more than happy to be there. And I said, well, we understand that. And we're sincerely regretful of the fact that you're not there. But rest assured, if you were, we would have included you in that. I did say that we were considering the possibility of having a recording artist of note participate in the activities. That was all that I said, because I know we've talked about that in the past and I didn't reveal anything at all. But to the extent that that opportunity may still be present, they're at least alerted to the fact that we could have some kind of surprise. We came back to the notion about, and there was an immediate understanding that by including some, you necessarily exclude others, and it could be a problem, but doing something about acknowledging the pioneers, the first families, the folks who've been here since 1945. And wouldn't it be nice if we had them available and if we even did a storytelling opportunity with them? I did mention that, in fact, during the planning of the gala, it was our thought that we would have those people sprinkled around the room and that I would do a sort of Phil Donahue thing with them and go around with the microphone and ask each person to share a story so that we could keep it moving and not get bogged down. They would like us to at least consider the possibility of having something like that. Also, to make sure that we have those photographs available around the corral and throughout the event on tripods for people to see, because not everybody will be cycling through the city hall. And and they also recommended that we have an opportunity to sell the High on Country book and that we could have a table for that. So that's generally what the comments were. They were preceded and followed in each case by unanimous praise and appreciation for the work of the 75th Anniversary Committee and for the planning that's gone into this event. That's my report, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doug. What are everybody's thoughts on that? It's all good feedback. Happy to incorporate. I do think the overall thought process was, how do we keep this simple as possible? I don't want to make it too complicated. More of a celebration, social mixer type of a thing, but certainly the history is the focus. So you're happy to open up the floor to everybody's thoughts on that.
I still like the idea of just having the photos in the village center. And if anyone's interested, they can go in there. It's going to be open. And I don't know about some of these older residents, whether they're going to come to this. So my feeling is, if they come, that's great. But I don't know if I would necessarily do a big production with the older residents.
Yeah, I like the time capsule recommendations. I like the idea of having an activity for the kids to partake in while we're doing the dedication. I think those are all really smart ideas. If there's some group or a choir or people or what have you that would like to play music ambiently through the event over in the Hutto Commons, I think that's a good idea as well. Other than that, I think we keep it simple.
Yeah, I agree.
Dino, how do you feel?
Oh, I agree. I think keeping it simple is going to be a path forward to a successful event. So I couldn't agree more.
You know, the one comment, if I may, Mr. Chairman, that I would bring up relative to the sort of the pioneer families, if we know they're going to come, and we could also make an effort to reach out to them to ensure that they do come, there might be some kind of special name tag that we could have, at least with a ribbon that says pioneer or something such as that. So rather than making a big thing and introducing everyone, just have them branded as pioneers. That's a thought.
Yeah, I think it's a nice idea to, when people check in or when people arrive at the welcome table, that we give everybody a name tag. So it's just nice to, you see somebody, you can't remember their name, it's nice to identify them. Maybe those people do get their name tag is on it. It looks a little different or something that, you know, recognizes their tenure in the community. Certainly we could do that.
How would we differentiate or how would we identify those residents? I mean, would it be 50 years in Cherry Hills Village? Would it be a centennial? I mean, Doug, how would you differentiate?
That's an excellent question. Yes, my immediate reaction is, if you've been in the village or if your family has been in the village, because you could be a 49-year-old person who was born here because your parents lived here all their lives too, and you've lived here for that same time. And I think of somebody like Wellborn, who's for a lot more than 49 years old, my God. But that if we say to someone, if you or your family have lived in the village 50 years or more, I think, you know, they deserve something. You know, they're what is that? They're a golden resident, because isn't that a golden anniversary, the 50th?
I believe so.
We just have to predetermine that, though. That would be the.
Well, I think you just ask.
Yeah, we could ask folks. I mean, if we have a table that people are checking in and getting name tags, we could ask folks as they're checking in, how long has your family been in the village? And just, you know, if it's somebody that's 50 years or if it's somebody that's 25 years, put a ribbon on their name tag so that people can identify each other and kind of serve as a conversation starter.
Yeah.
I like it. Sounds nice.
And that would have the benefit of keeping it very simple and not having any kind of production associated with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be easy to do that. That's a very simple name tag, you know, whether it's a yellow ribbon or otherwise.
Sounds good.
I have to do red for something.
So,
Okay.
So it sounds like we have the full support of the PTRC. Is there anything else we need to do in terms of getting the approval? What is next? We have to go in front of City Council?
Next would be going in front of City Council. So we do have a meeting on Tuesday. So the committee can come and speak during the committee reports if someone's available. If not, the next meeting is going to be the 20th, July 20th. They canceled their first meeting in July. So we can put something in the packet if you'd rather attend the July 20th meeting so they can see the presentation, or we can just have someone come to Tuesday's meeting, whatever the committee prefers.
Is anyone available Tuesday? I'm headed to Mexico tomorrow, so I won't be here. I think it'd be good to get that done on Tuesday, as you know, before you know it, it'll be July and August, and we need to plan this event. So is anyone available for Tuesday?
I am not. I got a meeting that evening.
Yeah, and regretfully, I've got RTD board meeting that night.
Would the
We can give them a little bit.
city staff be able to present to them on our behalf?
We can give an update during the report, during staff reports.
Okay, enough to get us the approval to move forward?
Hopefully. We'll do our best, yes.
Okay.
And then I just want to let the committee know one other thing too. So we are planning on putting on the July 20th agenda permission for the 75th anniversary committee to accept donations on behalf of the city. So the donations, if you were to solicit donations, whether they be monetary or donations of wine or anything for the event, that they would not have to go before city council. So hopefully city council authorizes approval for the 75th to accept those donations, but I'll be doing that presentation on the 20th, so I can keep you posted.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you very much. So as long as all goes well on Tuesday, it looks like we just need to break up this event plan into each section and get into more detail and craft this whole thing out and delegate tasks and start working on pulling this whole thing together.
Oh, and if I may, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to interject on one thing.
Yes.
You will note in the budget, go back, stop on the flow of the cards, go back to the budget to the slide above that. You had the $200, there it is, promotional materials, yard signs, $200. There was an expression on the part of PTRC to avoid signage in terms of things like yard signs. Now, for the day of the event, signs indicating where we are and doing all that, that's a separate thing. But I think they wanted to avoid having various yard signs in advance of the event all over the village saying 75th +1 celebration on August 28th. So there was a sentiment, at least expressed by, I think it was Commissioner Eber, to avoid excess yard signs. So that's something just for your information, that there was a desire to avoid that. I said that obviously the sign outside the city hall, the informational sign where we typically post such things, would have that information, but that it was not our intention to sprinkle the village with a bunch of signs.
Well, in lieu of that, Jessica, would it be possible to get some coverage in the crier?
Yes, we're posting the save the date that I had you and co-chair Barry approve in the July issue. And then we can do a bigger update once we have more information in the August issue, because that'll come out before the event. So yes.
Well, how does the committee feel? I mean, how much coverage would you feel would be appropriate with respect to the event, but also, I mean, is there a historical blurb that we need to put in there, or something that is maybe a half page or a quarter page, or something that just reminds everyone of the 75th +1? How much do we feel is appropriate for that?
Well, I think an ad in the crier is good. I mean, they've done that for the grand opening for the park. And, you know, if people are interested, they're going to mark it down. If they're not, they won't. I think that's adequate.
Yes.
And like the committee member Tisdale said to PTRC last night, we'll also post it on the city's website. We'll send out email blasts. It'll be on our Facebook page, next door. So we'll put it on all of our social media accounts as well.
I think
Okay.
that's good.
Emily, do you have any idea how many people you think are going to show up for the grand opening of John Mead?
We're hoping for what we would normally get for a city event, which is about 150 to 200 people. But it's hard to say. We, just like movie night and the car show, we just advertise it, and whoever comes to the event gets to enjoy it. So, but typically we'd hope for about 150 to 200.
Okay. How do we feel about, with our event? Obviously there's a much larger setup with I think the big question in my mind is the wine corral, I think I've called it. Whether we have a tent and a bar and get all of the beverages donated, or it's at a cash bar. I feel pretty confident about getting some wine donated. Is there anything we need to do in terms of special licensing for that? And how do we try and get a good grasp on how many people are going to attend, so we have the appropriate amount of space and the appropriate amount of alcohol and food and all the rest of it?
We do require a special event liquor permit that we've already talked to the city clerk about, so she's aware of our event date. We'll make sure that that's applied for and approved prior to the event, so we won't have a problem with the liquor license portion. Aside from knowing exactly how many people are coming, I think the only way to do that would be to ask people to RSVP, and which is fine. I'm happy to take RSVPs. I don't know that people will, so we won't know that we'll have an accurate count, but I think that's the only way of trying to get a head count ahead of time.
I agree. It's going to be hard. I mean, if we have 125 or we have 175, I mean, that could be a big difference with how much food and beverage we would require. I mean, we don't want to buy for 175 and then 125 show up or vice versa. So I think the RSVP would be a good idea. They could send either I mean, depending on how you want to handle that, whether it's an email or it's an online, software platform. But I think that would be very helpful so that we have a better idea. I mean, I'm sure we'll have people that will not show due to a last minute, something that comes up, or people that will show up because they can. I don't, it's hard to say.
I'm not sure you're gonna.
Oh, go ahead.
Google Forms.
I was just gonna say, I'm not sure you'll get a good response with RSVP. People don't even respond for weddings. I mean, seriously, they don't. I don't understand it. I mean, I'm okay RSVPing, but I don't know if it'll be real accurate.
I think we at least need to get a baseline. So if we can try and make an effort to use some sort of an RSVP program, we need some sort of a gauge to at least know where we stand, knowing that there's going to be.
We did that with an art commission event. We created an RSVP form through our website, and we had people signing up for specific times that they wanted to come down. This was during COVID, that they wanted to come down and look at the exhibit event, which ended up being canceled. So it's something we can do. We can add it to our website, and I can advertise it in the July issue of the Crier and see if we can get people to RSVP. Maybe if it's in the July issue, maybe we can cut it off like the second week of August. I don't know if that gives us enough time, but usually the Crier comes out the first week of the month. So it should hit residents no later than the 9th or the 10th, depending on delivery of mail. So if you cut it off around the 9th or the 10th of August, that gives them a full month to RSVP.
I agree. I think we do need, Thomas, I agree. We need to have some sort of a baseline. It's going to be hard just to fly blind and not know, if how many people roughly we're going to have. Again, we're going to have a, 10%, 15% that will or will not show up, so we can, adjust accordingly.
And by the same token, Mr. Chairman, you're going to have 5 or 10% who will not have RSVP'd who will show up. So I mean, it's sort of a wash at that point. But I would suggest, yes, let's ask for an RSVP. It doesn't hurt, and if nothing else, it keeps it in people's minds, and that's what we want. So ask for an RSVP. But I would say, in terms of planning for wine, quite often when you have contributed wine, the donor, the benefactor, is more than willing to take back whatever you don't use. So I think if we have in our mind that we'll probably get no more than 200 and no fewer than 100, that I think is sort of the planning range that we ought to have, and we'll have a better sense of this after Saturday, which unfortunately, or the opening of the park, I can't make because I've got an RTD board retreat. But we'll have a sense of how many people will show up for an event like that, and that gives us a sort of gauge. But my guess is, you can put it in the minutes, and I'll put money on it, no fewer than 100, no more than 200 is what we're going to have.
Yeah. I think it'll be, I love what you're saying. I like getting the data from the John Mead opening will be great. I think the big differentiator here is that there's going to be a wine corral.
Right.
Attracts a lot more people, to be honest. So,
Are you saying that's more attractive than a magic show?
Just saying.
One might be more popular with people. I don't know.
Yeah. So we had we had 200 people here on Wednesday night, and everybody's very excited that they can hug each other again and get caught up. So it wasn't that hard to get a group like that together. So I think we could be surprised that we might get between 200 and 300. Doug, that's my guess.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Yeah, and Tom, I would agree. I think people are more comfortable, you know, and Doug, you were at my event, you know, 2 weeks ago, and I think people are becoming more and more confident and comfortable. So I wouldn't be surprised. I concur with Thomas. I think we may get more than 200. I hope we do.
Yeah, very nice.
But it's a nice metric to begin with, at least as a baseline.
We'll be interested to see what shakes out for the Land Preserve fall fundraiser event. I don't know if Emily or Jessica, you heard anything more on that. But certainly they've got a database too that they could push this information out to if wanted.
I
Of
know they
course.
are planning to have the barn party on September 11th, and then the trail walk the next day on September 12th. So they're on track, as far as I know, planning for that.
What I understand though is that it's not going to be the barn party this year.
Right. That's what I thought, that the Rady Barn was not going to be available.
That is correct.
So that's why I'm
Yes.
wondering, you know, if there's any movement on that in any which way.
I haven't heard an update besides that the Rady Barn wasn't available in terms of what the venue will be.
All right. So we just need to start breaking this apart and figuring out all the details.
Sounds good. Anything more on the celebration?
Can we, in 2 weeks' time, can we meet in person at City Hall and really kind of get into the details on this?
Yeah,
July 1st is the-
yeah, effective July 1st, all commission meetings, committee meetings will be in person instead of via Zoom. So you can meet anytime that there's availability in a quorum in person at City Hall.
Can we send one of those emails out where everybody checks their availability? Because it would be really great to have Crispin and Rob and all of us together so we can break apart the responsibilities and delegate. Everybody can start working on elements of this.
Yes, I'll send out a doodle poll after this meeting.
It really would be nice to get this thing, you know, just really organized and ready to rock. So I know we all have busy lives.
Makes sense. May I ask a question? We kind of skipped over the item on item 6B, updated logo. I wasn't aware of that. Can you give me some heads up on that, please?
We haven't gotten there yet, but that's the next item. Is there anything else on the
Okay.
celebration that we need
I'm
to
sorry.
cover?
We had jumped to the next meeting, so I didn't know. Okay, thank you. Sorry.
No, good point. No worries. Is there anything else to discuss on the celebration?
I don't think so.
Okay. So the logo.
So the logo, and this wasn't anything that the committee asked for. It's just something that I talked to the graphic artist about, just in preparation in case the committee wanted to update the logo. So I had her put together a 75+1 and a 76 logo just to update the 1945 to the 2021, which we can still do with the 75 logo. So it was more just your preference. We can keep the 75th logo. We haven't changed anything, just to get feedback from the committee if that's something you guys are interested in.
Well, I think-
Personally, I like the 76. I think it looks fantastic. I think that would be just fine.
Actually, I like option B, the 75+1, because the big deal was 75. And I 76 is,
Yeah, my vote's option B.
My vote's option B too. I think Nancy expresses it well. It does with that little +1 there. There's a whole story in that, folks. I mean, think about it.
It's true.
We'll all come back and look at it. We just say 76, you don't understand, but if you see +1, you go, what the hell was that?
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you think people are going to get it? I mean, is that something that we have to explain? I'm sure a lot of people that, at least a lot of people that I've talked to have no idea about the story of it. So,
Yeah, no,
Well,
I think they'll get it. I mean, obviously, you can do the math. 1940. Well, hopefully, most people can do that.
don't be so sure, Doug.
We'd like to think we have an educated electorate here in Cherry Hills Village.
Of course we do.
But I think the 75 plus 1 tells, you know, a very complete story in a cute sort of way.
Well, and just as a counterpoint, 76 is an important number in Colorado because of the bicentennial. I mean, it's 1876. So 76 also as a counterpoint, again, is an important number. So something to consider.
Yeah, but the time capsule is going to be everything related to 75. So I think option B makes the most sense.
I think it does tell a story for the people opening the time capsule in 24 years. Because then this period where we had to move everything and deal with COVID is part of that, is part of the village's history too.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
If it takes a motion, I'll move that we adopt option B as the new logo for the committee.
Go ahead and make the motion.
I just did.
I second it.
All right, so moved. Okay. And Jessica, you'll send out some dates for the next meeting. Can you give a couple of options, perhaps maybe the first week of July and also the second week of July?
Yes, I will make all dates available, the first week of July, the second week of July, except for July 5th. City Hall's closed July 5th. So we'll start from the 6th and do a 2-week time period.
Can we, okay, the first week of July for me is problematic. So I've got some commitments until about the 10th. So.
Okay, do you want me to send out a doodle poll from the 12th and the 19th, those 2 weeks?
That would be great.
Okay.
Okay.
Thomas, is that getting too far into July? I mean, you wanted to do it pretty close to the beginning of July. I'm asking.
Hopefully the week of the 12th would be ideal, I think.
I mean, it doesn't mean that we can't continue to work on it, but certainly, that gives us, that should give us plenty of time. I mean, we've already planned this thing for a year. I'm sure it's not going to be we're not starting from the very beginning, thankfully.
Yeah, well, Dino and I will come prepared with, we'll kind of take the current plan and we'll break it out into detail. And so we'll be prepared when we get there to just really kind of discuss and delegate. And then it'll be time for everybody to just take action.
Sure. Okay. We will patiently await the options for the next meeting.
Okay.
Is there any new business?
There is not.
No.
Okay.
The only outstanding item, Dino, is just the hall display. Let me know what you need from me at this point and what we need to do to get that to print.
Sounds good. When you come back, let's maybe meet about that.
Okay.
I assume you guys got my comments about the hall display. Jessica sent them on. Okay.
Yep.
Because it should be accurate, I think.
That's the plan.
Good.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Anything else?
Did you also receive the email from committee member Tisdale about his correction as well? That was sent last night.
Yeah, and I just made a comment that the one picture was the original, actually it was the second St. Mary's Academy building in downtown Denver. And I was thinking that we ought to substitute a picture of the Hickerson House in there. I know there's a picture of SMA under construction, the aerial shot, but I thought a picture that actually showed the Hickerson House, which is the admin building and has been for now, 60 years on that site, would be an appropriate picture rather than the picture of, I think that's on Pennsylvania Street where that building is.
Yeah, I agree. It should be what's in Cherry Hills.
Yeah, it's just a availability and rights to be able to use that. A lot of those images are not, we just don't have the rights to use them. I mean, we can certainly purchase them if we can approve this as a committee. It's a few $100s, but that's fine. We can, I agree. I think we should put the Hickerson Mansion because it is substantially more important than the 12th in Pennsylvania, 13th in Pennsylvania location. So we can initiate that. Thomas and I can begin that.
Okay.
Good deal.
Perfect. Okay. Anything else before we adjourn?
Can we just ask, Co-Chair Barry, did you design the slides in PowerPoint?
No, but I can export them into PowerPoint.
Okay, there was, the PTRC noticed a few typos, so if you can send that to me, I can make those edits and then we can present that to council on Tuesday.
Sure. I can do that.
Perfect, thank you. Other than that, that's all we have.
Yeah, I was impressed that PTRC had looked at it that closely, by the way.
Okay.
All
Do
right.
we have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
And
Okay, perfect. Well, I hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you. And we look forward to, we'll get together sometime beginning of July.
Thank you.
Amen. Thank you all.
Thank you
We'll
all.
be in touch soon.
Thank you.
Talk to you
Thomas,
soon.
have a good trip.
Thank you.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.